long as oh, my dogs are... Oh, well, the episode's called Dogs, so... the dogs are out. If you see my toes, no, you didn't. I think the laptop will cover it, so... Yeah. None of that shit for free.
Blurred.
Just as a blurred line, just over my foot.
This episode is sponsored by feetfinder.com.
Yeah. Blurred Lines by Robin Thicke. Yeah. Okay. Well... Hello, everyone, to episode 4 of our podcast, Yass Chef.
Yass Chef.
Because we have a name now. Also, I have been told some feedback. One of the feedbacks has been we need to introduce ourselves.
We didn't need to introduce ourselves?
No, that we need to introduce ourselves. I guess we didn't.
We kind of did in the first one.
In the first one, I guess.
A little bit.
So, well, I think it's also, I don't know. Kyle, shout out to Kyle Calkins listening. He was like, you guys need to introduce yourself every episode. So,
every single episode?
I think so. I listen to podcasts and they do introduce themselves every episode. So, welcome everyone. I'm Marita. and this is
our humble beginnings.
Very true.
I'm Julie.
You're Julie.
Oh my gosh.
So,
wait, did you say your full name or just Marita?
I think just Marita.
Okay.
No, I'm good. I'm 22 years young, living in Prop. I don't know, like, how much of a intro. I'm like, we haven't gone, but let's be honest. The people who are listening to this know us, except for the one person in Germany. According to podcast analytics right now, we have one lonesome listener in Germany, so shout out to you.
My name is Julie. I'm 24. I'm a Taurus. That's all.
Period. She lives in Providence, but also sometimes Australia. Two very different places.
We both went to Johnson Wales University, and we are both from Chicago.
Yes. Generally. Her dad didn't kill himself. Congratulations on that. But
he's still alive. Yeah,
I was at a party, and I was like, yeah, and another, like, cool part of my podcast, like, you know, since my dad killed himself. And that guy was like, one of the guys was like, that was the worst way to find out. I was like, no. I have told people in way worse ways. And this one guy, another guy at the party was like, yeah, I was playing Cards Against Humanity with her, and I gave her the card of dead parent. I obviously made him win, because I was like, I need to know who put down this card. He had no idea my dad was dead.
Oh.
And I said, that's tee-hee-hee to me. That makes me tee-hee-hee.
And that's the way the cookie crumbles,
So, welcome to episode 4 of our podcast, but also we are reviewing season 1, episode 4 of The Bear, called Dogs.
Yeah. So good.
So good.
God.
You want to get into it?
Let's get into it, shall we?
So, the opening episode of this is probably going to be a longer episode, because this is the pastry episode, guys, and we are 2 pastry girlies.
You guys, this is like, so I was going to say, this is arguably like the beginning of Marcus's timeline.
Oh, yeah.
And I live for it.
The opening shot of the different paint buckets filled with buttercream gave me a little PTSD. I'm not gonna lie. When I worked at a cake decorating shop, your life is just plastic buckets full of colorful frosting. And then, like, the sheet trays, because he goes to a donut shop to get donuts to do, like, research. So, like, it's the making of the donuts. And, another thing I need to explain. Some people didn't understand when I said redacted. So, redacted? I worked at a company. A big company. Really big. And when you work for corporate America, they always screw you over. And so in order for their story not to get shared, you have to sign an NDA. So I signed an NDA with said company. So from here on out, every time I say redacted, talking about that company, let's just say the place was run by rats. That's all I'm going to say. I'm so glad we have that on video of the wheels turning until I got there. Let's just say the whole place was run by rats.
Doodle Bops was run by rats.
Yeah, so that's that. But when I worked at Redacted, I worked at a little area that made just donuts. And flipping the donuts in the fryers. I also had to make donuts I made them at like 7 in the morning in the hot, like late at night in the hot Florida sun in a booth outside, like frying donuts. So I'm like, donuts.
It's a no for me.
Have you ever, besides Vinoiserie, have you made donuts?
No.
No.
I don't think so. No, probably. Like, no. Let's be real. No.
Literally, sometimes we were so far behind that we would fry them, and as soon as they got out of the fryer, we would put 3 pairs of gloves on so we wouldn't burn ourselves and decorate them and hand them out to customers.
Oh.
And I'm like, the rat wouldn't like that, handing out really,
No.
but like people are like, they were fresh.
The rat wouldn't like that.
The rat wouldn't like that. But the cinematography of the donuts, beautiful.
The best.
Absolutely stunning. Completely just stunning.
Gorgeous.
But
it's so crazy that like there's some people in life, and I mean obviously in our little community, like there's so many of us that are just natural foodies and just can't appreciate food like that, but there's a lot of people that really just don't give a shit.
They're like, I eat
they could
food
care less
just to keep my body moving.
Like, I don't know, when we see artistry like that, it's almost like, wow, like if you even not seeing the process, you see a donut and you know the process, like you can see it in your head.
Oh,
but, like,
yeah.
But seeing it like with the cinematography, it just is gorgeous. And I know that some people just are like, why? It doesn't matter. Like, you just dip it. Like, you don't need to make it look like that. But I love that the bear, like,
well, that's my thing. If you're an artist, I honestly suggest you go to pastry because, let's be honest, if you're an artist, say you're a sculptor, and you sculpt one thing for a really, really, really long time, and it looks good. Mm-hmm. That's cool, but you don't get repetition. Like, I literally sculpted cakes and cakes and cakes and cakes, and they get better and better and better.
Yeah.
And, like, sculpting, like, you make the sculpture, cool. Now where does it go? Like, when you're, like, a starting artist, like, where does it go? So, maybe if, maybe if your end goal is that there's a chef at JWU who went to RISD for glass blowing and then was like, oh, sugar's the same thing. And I can, like, give away the sculptures. Yeah. And it won't be, like... So then they actually transitioned their entire career to pastry after going to art school because it's edible art. It doesn't live forever. And sometimes that's the sad part of it, but also the beauty because you just make another one.
It is. And, like, same thing with, like, piping and stuff like that. Like, having to pipe over and over and over again, like, the same thing. Or piping words and stuff until it gets, like, perfect and right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And, like, you just get better at it. But, yeah, you could tell that Marcus is an artist, and I love that about him.
His, like, just natural curiosity and, like, wonderment about, like, pastry and stuff. I love seeing him get into it. Like, genuinely warms my heart more than anything.
It's also nice just seeing, like, a nice straight man doing pastry that isn't obsessed with bread, because every boy that goes to pastry school, all they want to do is make bread. They honestly could give a fuck about anything else. Like,
I want to make rolls, and they want to make rolls good.
Yeah, in my put a desserts class, this guy was like, yeah, I'm just here to learn about bread, but, like, I have my associate's degree. I'm like, I mean, good for you, but that's...
Hey, he knows what he wants.
Absolutely, he does know what he wants. So then the next scene is them getting ready to go to what we thought was Naperville. I was like, in my notes, I'm like, we're going to Naperville. Just kidding, we're not going to Naperville. Mm-hmm. But we at least talk about Julie's hometown. I would be floored if they ever brought up Orland Park, Illinois.
Hey, don't never say never. They name dropped Naperville. I mean, hey.
But Naperville, like, is big and like, you guys have the Riverwalk and all this stuff. Orland all my love to Orland Park, but
I guess I just thought it was so fun. Like, they're just on the way and, like, talking about it and just but it's also just funny because, like, the way he talks about it is so on brand. Naperville, like, fucking Naperville. Yeah, fair enough.
Fair enough. I also said that Cousin's a markety girly just like me with his hot dog, because I'm like, that's funny.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Trying to get the hot dog and him punching it, like, that whole scene is just very funny. And then when they eventually get to the family party and they just tape the shirt on the hot dog so he couldn't get, like, the shirt over the hot dog, like, It's just very, 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 very funny. Yet again, and I think in every single episode, I've had Sydney's deliveries just so real. Don't even know what that's about.
When she's talking about the floors, this is the part I've been waiting for.
Oh,
and she just goes,
"Go
like,
off, Julie, go off."
No, like the way that Sydney like speaks to people in like her way of like confronting is very much how I think of myself sometimes, where it's just like, hey, like, you're doing such a good job at, like, wiping down everything, like, it's so clean, but, like, the floors are disgusting, what the fuck is going on, like, why? Like, why?
Why? Just why?
Like, just so real with you.
Yeah, she is. Yes, no, that is that part, because that's when she... So at this part, they've officially started the brigade, so she's officially, like...
Head honcho.
Like, head honcho, like, everyone has to listen to them, because this is when Tina starts
some fuckery.
Not like yeah, some fuckery, but just overall just like trying to learn. She doesn't like her. But again, in Tina's defense, much like in Richie's defense, I feel like if I worked at a fucking beef shop for so long and some girl who I've never seen came in and just started telling me what to do, and I was old, I fucking wouldn't listen to her either. It's annoying as shit, but like I wouldn't listen to her. But you can like, we'll talk about it more in the episode. You can see her like progression as she get. But I also think her character is just very realistic. Like she plays a very like, I feel like I would find that person in Chicago easily.
Oh yeah,
Tina's character.
Absolutely.
My next point is older people just don't listen to kids.
No, never do.
Never do.
I tell this story so many times of like the time, well, there's two stories, and I think I most recently told my dad the other one, and he was like, what? Like, you didn't tell me this? I worked at a gelato shop when I was like starting from 16 up until like, I want to say 20-ish, maybe? So I worked there for quite a while, and, like, at one point, they hired this 40-year-old man to work in the kitchen, and mind you, I'd worked there for many years, so I knew what I was doing, and he just did not want to give me the time of day, listen to this little girl. And then at another time, I was working with this dude that, he wasn't even that much older, I want to say he was probably, like, 25 or something, and he thought he was hot shit because he worked at, he went to Le Cordon Bleu, and I was like, Le Cordon Bleu? Alright. And at one point, I think he was, like, trying to call the kitchen, like, his kitchen, and I was like, no. And then he started, throwing buckets at me. Like, the story is bigger, but, like, he threw buckets at me in the kitchen as an 18-year-old little girl, and when I told my dad that, he was like, what? Like, this is news to me? And I'm just like, oh, it's fine, we're good now, and he's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, anybody older just does not want to listen to anyone younger, and I don't understand that. Like, when I worked with Zach at JWU, really gave me this new perspective of, like, everybody has something to learn from everybody. Mm-hmm. If you just are open-minded, give it a second, like, give it a chance. But, you know, c'est la vie.
C'est la vie. I also like because, like, the other characters, you see misogyny, but, like, Tina just is fucking old.
Yeah. She's
just like, I don't give a fuck. Like, it's not misogyny. She's just like, I really just don't give a fuck.
No, because it's the same thing to Carmi, too. She's just like, fuck your brigade. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
ladies and gentlemen, this is my exact note in my notes. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Julie's episode. They were in Naperville, baby. Next bullet point. Oh, JK, they don't go. But, just the family party is just, I even put in my notes, like, I want to put, like, I have videos, I have, like, old home videos in my phone, like, it looks just like this party.
Oh, it's very much a suburban Chicago family party.
Very much so, yeah. To a T. All the family parents inside fighting, yelling at people, like, why are we yelling?
The kids outside doing some running around.
This running around. When I was younger, though, I have two well, technically, one's my age cousin and a younger cousin. Yeah. Because I had older siblings, like, I never wanted to hang out with kids my age, so, like, I would sneak up and go upstairs and hang out with the adults. Because I'm like, I have no time for sitting in the basement and doing nothing. I want to have good conversation with the adults upstairs. Like, I always was like, I'm going to go upstairs now. So I want to talk to old people. Bye.
Oh my god.
Oh, the one next note I have is, Carmen, I thought you killed yourself. That's funny.
No, that was my brother.
That was my brother. Yeah, no.
Thanks. I'm very much still here.
Very much still. Well, I mean, he didn't fucking go to the funeral, so.
Yeah. The way they glaze over the topics, though, like, it just kills me.
Yes. But also very real.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah. That kind of, that leads into my next point, humans are really wild that they will take a tiny pill just to not have to deal with their thoughts.
Yeah.
And that's wild to me. I mean, mind you, I'm on fucking also antidepressants, so, like, I don't know where I was really prolific with this, but I'm also, like...
The kids are not all right. They have never been all
right.
of
America. Like, I think it would be astonishing if we actually found out how many people were on, like, all the medic... I'm like, hey, guys, go outside and go on a walk. If you go outside and go on a walk...
Drink some water.
Go touch some grass. And that's also coming from me. This is a note to my future self who's sad and in bed if I am. Just go outside. I guarantee... Even if it's winter, it'll be better.
Yeah.
And it'll just, like... Just go outside. And I think that's also funny that humans, like... We have to tell ourselves, like, oh, like, go look at the sunlight if you want to feel better.
So I saw a TikTok with this, and it was like, when I start to feel sad, it's lizard time. You just need to go sit in the sun. And I was like, that's so real, because you're right. Like,
it's lizard
and
time.
I think, like, this past week especially has been so, like, rainy and dreary and just gross that I'm just like, and the sun came out, and I'm like, oh, thank God, I just want to sit.
Oh, yeah, yesterday it was nice out, and I was inside. I was like, not this. I want a 4-mile walk. Yes. Where? Literally going up and down the streets of Providence. Mm-hmm. Like, I would walk a block, go up, walk, block, go up. But it was Friday, so that was my only thing. Yeah. The next note I have is, what kind of asshole is going to put ketchup on a hot dog is very much something my dad would say.
Yeah. I am that asshole.
What kind of asshole would put ketchup on their hot dog? And to be fair, I agree. Like, hot dogs themselves are sweet. They don't need ketchup. However, like, I don't know how I feel about, like, a full Chicago dog with, like, all the shit on it. Which I know, I'm sure the Chicago people are going to be like, you mother white little...
Listen, this is one thing.
Girls.
This is just one thing I can't get behind. I'm unique. I put cheese fries on a plain dog. That's it. Whoa. That's what I do.
And that's what I do.
That's just what I do. I'm like, if there's like no cheese fries, then fine. I will just put ketchup on it. It gets the job done. It's fine. Okay? It's not the best, but it's fine. But I prefer doing cheese fries on a hot dog. Cheese fries.
I'm just like a mustard girl. My dad was like addicted to not addicted, but like sometimes he would just eat like 7 hot dogs.
Ever relish?
No, chili.
Oh.
Like chili dogs. Okay. Like, man was hungry all the time. I remember like seeing like, or he would do like 7 hot, like, I'm telling you, 7 hot, this is.
Oh my God.
Brian heard wilding out. But like 4 of them would be like chili dogs. I'm like, he's just chilling out here. It's a lot of fucking hot dogs.
Whoa.
Okay, so that was like the intro to the little family party. Now we're back in the kitchen. And my next note is, I love how much Marcus talks about pastry in all capital letters.
Yes.
He's just so cute and sweet and kind, and he's a homie for real.
He really, I want to be friends with him. You know?
Yeah, I said he sounds like me when I talk about food. Like, and how come you were saying, like, I feel like a lot of people talk, like, who are in pastry, I like to talk about what's in it because, like, you as the consumer actually don't know how much work went into what you just ate.
Right. And in the same coin of one of these past days this weekend, there was somebody that was kind of being rude to somebody I work with. And I was like, she didn't work in customer service and you know it. And it's like same thing with like food or like being in the kitchen where it's like if you get a dish out and you see it and you know what went into that, you're just like, wow. But there's some people that they get their shit and they're just like, this is terrible. Take it away. Like, give me a new one or something. Like, it's just going to come out the microwave, like, quick. No. There is love being put into that. There is love. There's hours and hours of, like, work that gets put into every single little thing that you get, for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and just, like, yeah. I think I talked about that on last episode with the plated desserts.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you just, so much work for just literally, like, what feels like 2 bites of
Yeah.
food.
Mm-hmm.
And so where, like, at least, like, cakes, like, what I like to do, like, you can at least see somewhat of the work that went into it. 'Cause it's all the decorating
cakes,
part.
you get it on display for a little bit. Everybody takes pictures, and they're like, "Oh, cute,"
Yeah.
and then eat it.
You get it? Oh, so, like, this is, like, for all my non-Chicago people, when you heard the line, I don't want to smell like hot jardiniere. Like, do you know what that means?
Do you know what jardiniere is?
Do you know what jardiniere is? I'm like listen, I'm like watching this. I was like, but like, do not Chicago. Like,
I can see it in
what
my
do
head.
you
I'm like,
poll right now? What do you guys think jardiniere
what do you think
is?
jardiniere is? Let's look it up.
Na, 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 na. It's a bunch of vegetables and like vinegar and
Well,
it's.
I did not spell it right.
Oh no! It's. Oh no! There's a red line underneath my note too. Because like you can't voice the text it either.
There
I
it
tried
is.
to do that. Jardiniere. Like
Why
carrots.
is it spelled like that?
Jardiniere. Yeah.
I knew it was a G, but like Jesus. Jardiniere.
Jesus with a G.
Jesus with a G.
Jesus with a G. Hot jardiniere. So, anyways, hot jardiniere is what like you. It's like spicy, vinegary peppers and carrots and cauliflower. I think
A staple in Chicago, it migrated from Italy to Chicago with Italian immigrants during the mid-19th century.
And you put it on an Italian beef sandwich. Like, that's what
Yes.
people,
yeah.
peppers or hot jardiniere
Yeah.
is like, my, like, sister-in-law's dad loves it. And so, like, when she comes, she, like, brings him a jar of it. I'm like, oh, that's cute. But, like, do non-Chicago people know what that is? I don't know.
I would assume, you know what, I can't assume anything. Because honestly, when I came here and I said the bean one time, nobody knew what the bean was. Or, like, not
Oh, so
everybody,
then
but,
they
like,
don't
some
know
people
it.
didn't even know what the bean was. And I was like, that's such a Chicago, what?
Shout out to my girl, Cloudgate. Big shout out to my girl, Cloudgate. You're doing magical.
I feel like when people think of maybe Chicago food or whatever, like, they know what deep dish looks like and they know what a beef sandwich looks like. And, like, they know that the peppers go on it, but maybe they don't know that it's called jardiniere, it is.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe.
But that's my assumption. But mine is just when they're at the party and I go, Cicero kills me when he goes, food's here, kiddies. Because they're like, they go from like arguing and like yelling and stuff, and he goes, food's here, let's go. Like,
Let's go.
I love when Cicero and Richie are fighting and bickering. I love it. I don't know why, I love it.
Yeah. Well, especially because, like, you learn that they're not family, so he, like...
Yeah. But they
just,
bicker like it.
Yeah, they for sure bicker like it, for sure. So, that was a little bit of the food scene again. Now we're back.
Yeah.
And, again, I keep on going over this point, but he's such a plated dessert girly, and I am just not that. But I still love him.
Marcus?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like... and then
he's so about it, and I love that for him.
Yeah, his drawing of his donut drawing, which also I used to like in culinary school, like drawing what you're gonna make.
Yeah.
And
my
like
favorite.
compared to the final product, like I like drew out my wedding cake practical.
Yeah.
And then like doing the video of me drawing and then like it next to the actual cake, I was like, that's cool.
One of our chefs had us do it. He like wanted us to do it on Microsoft Word.
Yes.
I don't know why.
Hey, what's with that? If any
like-
culinary professors are listening.
I literally have Adobe. I can draw it out so beautifully. I could draw it out beautifully hand, or I can do it on Adobe and like make it look gorgeous.
Yeah,
but you
they
want
were
me
like,
to do it
everyone-
on Word?
On
Like,
Word, because they want you to use the shape feature. I'm like, this...
He showed us how to make a freaking square and a rectangle. And then he was like, you can do circles when you want it to be like a little... I was like...
Be so
What?
for real right now. I
He's
know.
like, yeah, you can do a circle if you want it to be a rosette on top. I was like, I can draw a rosette!
For plated desserts, you would have to draw every single plate before you did it.
Yeah.
And so I used to draw them on my iPad.
fun.
And my teacher's like, wow, you really popped off. I was like,
Thank you.
Yeah, because I hate this class, so I'm trying to do everything I can to make it more enjoyable. But his drawing that he does reminds me of the passion fruit donut that you make in Viennoiserie class. Did you have the passion fruit donut?
I don't think I did.
Did you have Chef Hits? No, you had
No.
Brewweiler. Did you do a donut day?
Yeah.
Oh.
But we did, I don't know why, but we did a lot of like lavender and honey.
The
and
lavender ones.
Yeah.
I was going to say the lavender one's so good. And then I did a passion fruit one. Oh, delicious. Scrumptious.
I just remember my chef coats didn't smell the same after that day. Like, just after the day.
How
It was
ominous. And my chef coach just didn't smell the same, guys. Like, what the fuck? The oil.
No,
Okay.
I came home and I was like, what is that smell? Like, what am I smelling? It was me. It was the oil from frying the damn donuts.
Yeah, that's one thing at Redacted. We did not have to do our laundry. If I had to, that would be
love
my
that.
last straw.
Yeah.
If I had to clean my own chef
yeah.
whites there, I'd be like, I thought I could do it, but I can't.
Mm-hmm.
But that actually was really nice. So I would work with the hot oil in
Yeah.
the hot Florida sun
Yeah.
and just throw my jacket in the laundry. When I was leaving, but speaking of the donuts, comparing the texture of the donut to the top of his grandma's plastic toilet seat cover is, again, so specific, but also I know exactly what he means.
Oh my god.
And I don't know, I don't know like how much research like you've done, but and I haven't done much about him, but apparently he's a big food YouTuber. The guy who plays Fac
No.
is like this big. I'm pretty sure he's like one of the culinary producers on the show. Like, he has a whole YouTube channel. Like, me in food marketing communication. Like, I want to make food videos for a living. Did not even know this guy existed, but
Who thought? Who would have thought?
who would have thought? But that's how they found him, I think.
I need to do a deep dive after this. You guys are going to see me next episode a lot more educated, I think.
Yeah, it's okay. This is a fun, silly podcast.
No, but that's so cool, though.
But
Like,
him
I need to
comparing
know
it, I
now.
want to know if that was a line written or if that is something that he said. Because I think it sounds like something that he would just say, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I love that.
Yeah.
Because it's so, like, also, why do grandmas have, like, anytime I sit down on a toilet and it's padded with plastic, why?
Why?
You're not sitting there for a while. Like, it makes me so extremely uncomfy.
I hate it. I just hate it.
So uncomfy.
Ugh.
And then, okay, so that was them eating the donut, drawing the donut, trying it. They loved it. And now we're back at the family party. And this is also where we start to see Pete more. Pete.
Poor Pete.
Oh, Pete.
Pete's just trying his best. He just wants to fit in.
He is. At the end of the episode, when he's in the car and he's just like, thank you for inviting me into your family. And they push him. I'm like, that is just like, I don't know. I think that's, like, what an intense family he joined.
Oh, yeah. Oh my god. Pete's the one that, like, when they were talking about a narc and they were like, he just looks like a narc. That's him,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I feel
They
like
were
anyone who's not, like, from the south side of Chicago, they would think that, because they love Claire, because Claire grew up with them.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
But, like, Pete's just some random white guy that Sugar probably met at college or something, and they're like, we don't fucking trust him. I'm like, guys,
Yeah.
it's just because he's not from Chicago.
Ugh.
Or maybe he is, I don't know. But I also love how Pete, like, goes up to Carmen. He was like, I, like, followed you. Like, I read all your, like, magazines.
Yeah.
And, like, he tries so hard to like the
Yeah.
family. And they just treat him like dog shit.
They
They're just like,
do.
fuck Pete. I'm like,
Ugh.
but he's so, like, I don't know. I think he's very kind.
I love Pete. I really do.
He
has, like,
also
such
has
little-
a character arc. For a small character, he is.
Yes. Oh,
like,
yeah, he does.
He's great. I like
Absolutely.
him.
Yeah, but I just, his presence in the whole episode, you're just like,
Oh, Pete.
Pete.
Like, yeah, he's like, I actually, like, listened to all your stuff and, like, read all the
followed you when you were
articles.
in
Like,
New
I
York.
followed you when you were
Yeah.
in New York. Like, that's so sweet.
because it's like, think about, I mean, everybody's family is different, but it's like, there's some families where it's like, they don't give a shit. Like, oh, cool, you're back home for the holidays. All right, see ya, you're
You
leaving,
know,
whatever.
cousin
Like,
has no idea.
oh, yeah, not at all. But, like, Pete's with it.
he's with
Pete is here.
Nice. Justice for Pete.
Justice for Pete for real.
Justice for Pete for real. Pete looks like a narc is my...
No! She bought into it.
Yeah, so this is the introduction to Pete. This episode really flops back. It's like, we're at the party. We're making donuts. We're at the party. We're making donuts.
Yeah.
So right now we're making donuts, and now Marcus is making more donuts. And this is just a side note, teehee funny, because it's in the episode, and this is what this podcast is about, is funny side stories. Why can't you find gelatin sheets in the grocery store? Every single recipe that I have from culinary school says 3 sheets of gelatin, and that's what we learned. We learned with blooming gelatin and water with these sheets. You cannot find, like, you have to, I think maybe you can get them on Amazon, but, like...
Also, yeast in the way that grocery stores have it is so not accessible.
So inconvenient.
Like, the little jar is stupid, and then, like, the little packets are even more stupid.
Yeah.
Why can't we just have it in the little block?
Like, we get it at
school.
Yeah. Oh. But yeah, gelatin sheets.
But yeah, gelatin sheets. You are so right.
Because if you get unflavored gelatin at the grocery store, it's the fucking powder. Which, hey, is not the same.
It's not.
It's not the same at all. And, like, yeah, we would... So, like, you would get these sheets that looked like thin plastic, and you would soak them in cold water and then melt them into whatever hot thing you have. And it was so easy. And so... And I feel like they also didn't smell as much. That powder...
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, this really is animal bones. And you can really tell right now that it is animal bones. Because what the fuck? Yeah. But yeah, I just wish... That's just my side note to the gelatin. Because, like, even if you go to, like, a baking store...
The gelatin industry.
Like, you can't find good gelatin.
No, like, in a box like that, I wonder how much it costs. Because, like, genuinely... I'm like, think about it. During the holidays, it's literally perfect for a gingerbread house window. Instead of doing sugar...
Yeah.
Why would you do sugar when you can just tape a piece of gelatin? Or, like, glue a piece of gelatin?
Yeah, because there's little... It looks like little window panes on it.
But it's just, like...
I didn't even think about that. That's good.
Yeah.
I have the only, like, big burn I have on my hand is this L-shaped one from when I was making sugar gingerbread house windows. And I burnt the absolute fuck out of my hand. And I have a picture of, like, it would, oof, ouchie, 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 ouchie. But that's, like, actually my only burn that I have. And it was at my house, of course.
Yeah.
Nothing happened at school.
Oh, God.
We'll have to do a whole episode where we just talk about injuries in the kitchen.
Injuries, yeah.
Because if you
I got
ever,
a few.
yeah, if you ever meet someone who's in the industry, you're like, so what? Cuts, burns, what do you got?
Yeah. I don't think I have any that are visible anymore. The most notable one, kind of. This little spot is a little darker, because I burnt myself pretty badly on a deck oven.
Ooh.
and we were all, like, interested. It didn't, like, it obviously hurt really bad when I first got it, but the thing that I was interested to see was how it was going to look with the tattoo. So, it's healed for the most part.
That's
it was
funny.
over, like, that little circle.
Oh, no. Yeah. Oh, deck ovens are, like, 500 degrees.
The
Jesus
worst.
Christ.
Because I was loading it, and, like, I don't know why there was no communication, but they were like, all right, cool, we're pulling the loader. And I was like...
Oh, yeah. When you're loading baguettes into the oven, you put this on, like... You put them on this crazy, like... It's called a loader, and it, like, makes it so, like... Your baguettes go, like, straight into the oven without... I don't know. It's cool.
Yeah. Here's a picture of a bread loader.
Yeah, here's a picture of a bread loader.
Push it, and then the sheet just goes...
You roll...
Wah, wah, and then, like...
And you get little baguettes.
And that's it.
This episode features a great load of baking ASMR.
Yes, it does.
I love it.
I love it.
The sounds.
Mm-hmm.
The little baking sounds. Oh, I also thought so that's the baking part. We're flip-flap back now into the party again.
Yes.
And I thought it was so cool that Carmi made, like, the drink for, like, Ghostbusters.
Yeah, he made Ecto Cooler.
So
cute.
Which I feel like everyone his age, like Carmi would be like my siblings' age-ish.
Yeah.
Obsessed. All of my like Brandon and Steve obsessed with Ghostbusters. Yeah. More so Brandon, I think, but both of them really liked.
So fun.
And when I rewatched this episode, I forgot that the bottle of Xanax drops in the exo cooler.
Yeah. Well, so my thing from like earlier when Cicero was like, okay, food's here, kitties, because they're all like going crazy, like everybody's going crazy in their own way. The parents and like the older people are all like fighting and having their own conversation inside. The kids are going nuts outside, and like it just the little like comments and stuff like that where he's like, all right, let's go, like whatever. But at some point he's just like, all right, this is the worst, like this is so horrible, because like they're just being really annoying and running around and going nuts, that like that's why he has the reaction that he does, because they drop the Xanax, and eventually you just hear it get quieter and everyone's just taking a nap, and he goes, it's fine, it's quiet, it's fine,
because like, I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I dig it.
I did it. Can you imagine if that happened now, though?
Oh, if it happened now?
Like, party, 20 kids, zonked out on Xanax.
Yeah. Oh, God.
But, okay, so yeah. So, that's also when, Pete is trying to, like, talk to all of them.
Yeah.
Because Pete takes a sip. That's how we figure out the Xanax, I think, is in there. Because, like, Pete takes it. And then he falls asleep later, too. I'm like, oh, he's so cute. So, after all the kids pass out from Xanax, we're back in the kitchen. And this is one of my favorite parts of this episode, is when Tina is making the mashed potatoes and fails.
Yeah.
Because Tina's face after she does all that prep and it doesn't work out, you can tell, she's like, what the fuck? Like, all this work for nothing?
Yeah.
And when you mess up in the kitchen, that's exactly how it feels. It's like, fuck this bullshit.
Yeah.
But then, Sydney, like,
helps and just starts it over again.
Yeah, like, when Tina goes to clean it up, it's like one shot of Tina messing it up, and like you walk with her to the dish pit.
Yep.
She like gets mad because there's people in the dish pit, and then she like throws the pot in there and gets mad. And when she comes back out, like Sydney saw that happen, already prepped and had it ready to go for her. Yep. And like that's what good chefs do.
Yeah. Yeah. Like if somebody makes a mess, you don't like sit there and look at it and point and say anything. You just clean it up, get going, like start it up again, like whatever, you know? And it's like, yeah, that moment where she starts to turn around a little bit and she's like, okay. And then like,
and she comes back and she's like, why'd you do that?
Yeah.
Like, what? And she's like, oh, because then, like...
It needs to be done.
Needs to be done. I saw you. Like, that's the thing. It needs to be done.
That's it.
Like, you can't be so selfish in a kitchen where it's just like, did you hear that Tina messed up the potatoes? It's like,
yeah.
Well, we still need the potatoes. So just, like, just help her.
We're all on the same team.
Hey. To quote High School Musical, we're all in this together.
We are all in this together.
But no, I just think, and then when she tastes them with the new recipe, Tina's like, okay, it's kind of fucking good.
Yes!
She's like, this is kind of delicious, actually.
All right.
And, when she asks Sydney to taste it, she's like, you know, like, this is fucking bad. Like, I already know it's fucking bad. Like, just tell me how bad it is. I know it's so bad. And, like, Sydney tastes it and she's like, no, it's really good. Doesn't go on and on and on about how it's the best potato she's ever had, but, like, oh, no, it's really good. And you can see Tina be like,
oh, shit.
Wait, what? It's good?
Yeah.
It was good?
Yeah.
You think I did a good job? So.
Love to see it.
Love to see it. Absolutely love to see it.
That was my last note.
That was your last note?
Tina finally coming around. Because honestly, her being a bitch was, like, pissing me off. But the thing is, too, like, it's such a... I think shows are really good when you don't know... Like, you don't realize it's acting. Like, you think it's real, you know? Because
that's how the show is.
And, like, Tina reacting like that, like, being frustrated, throwing the stuff down, like, just the shot of her face, like... You feel it, you know? Like, she's living that right now, you know?
Yeah. And I don't find much... Like, TV shows are like that. Like, nowadays. Like, it's like... You can tell they're, like, trying so hard to act.
Yeah.
Where... This almost feels like a documentary where they just walked into a kitchen.
Yeah. Like,
and you started filming one day.
You're just spectating. Like, that... It's real. It's happening. It's... Yeah.
And the shots make it feel like that. Like, when the camera follows Tina to the dish pit.
Yes.
Like, that's stuff they don't show on TV.
Right.
Like, but that's what we do every day.
Yeah. It's so real.
It's so cool. And that's how I would imagine, like, nurses feel about watching Grey's Anatomy. Which I'm sure Grey's Anatomy is not, like, actually that accurate. But this is.
Yeah.
Actually. later in the episode, I think it's Cicero talking about Lake Geneva. And I was like, what? Another specific thing? Have you ever gone to Lake Geneva?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I'm like, living here now on the East Coast, it's like, oh, you want to do a weekend trip? You can go to, like, a river up in Maine. You can go to Vermont. You can go all these cool places. When you live in Chicago, it's like, I want to go to Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Or, like, just, like, Wisconsin Dells.
Leah just went she went to Wisconsin with her aunt and uncle, and I was like, you're going to Wisconsin? The Dells? Like, just immediately it was the Dells?
The Dells.
And she was like, no, we're going, like, somewhere else for whatever. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, everyone goes to Wisconsin Dells.
You know? Mm-hmm. Like, the Dells, Lake Geneva, what else is there? The Dunes, if you feel like
Indiana
going for a 2 hour.
Yeah. Indiana Dunes. My friend Cody lives by the dunes now, but yeah. What are like other like?
Oh, Starved Rock.
Yes. Yes.
The way Papa just gripped the chair.
Grippers.
He went what?
He said Starved Rock. What the fuck?
His hair looks like a toddler that just woke up.
He does. He does. I wish I could get him in the shot. Oh, if you're also listening to this episode, this is way too late to bring it up now, but we are recording this, and it will be up on YouTube.
Yes!
So,
you can watch us talk.
Yeah. No, I just want to know if you've ever been to Lake Geneva.
Yeah.
There's also, like, a couple... Have you ever been to Hope, Michigan?
I don't think
Michigan? So. That's, like, another, like, tiny one that people travel to.
Mm.
And then the episode ends with family dessert with Marcus, and everyone's trying his cake. And the one other guy is not Marcus or Tina, but like the other guy that Tina goes to culinary school with. What's his name? Ebri.
Yeah.
Sydney was like, "Oh, did you try the cake?" And he's like, "You've really given a lot of confidence to Marcus." And I was like, like all you need to do is give people confidence, and then they just see what they do with it.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
So good. Well, that concludes episode 4.
Episode 4, dogs. Wow.
We went to a family party in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
We got to experience the making of beautiful gourmet donuts.
Mm-hmm.
Which... Last episode, Julie brought donuts because we thought we were going to get to this episode, but we didn't. But if you're in Providence and you like gourmet donuts like that, PB Donuts, delicious.
Yep.
Need Donuts, another great one. But I love PB Donuts.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Hey, I'm trying to think of, like, any other... I don't know. If any future episodes have some kind of niche thing, I will bring it for the video watchers.
For the video watchers.
Have a little half mukbang and
half podcast.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. We'll see y'all next time.
Yes. Like, subscribe. Oh, yeah. Subscribe on, if you're on Spotify. If you subscribe, you'll get our episodes. We now know that they will be coming out every Friday at 7 a.m.
Yes.
So
follow
look
us
out.
on Instagram.
Follow us on Instagram. Yes, we have an Instagram and a TikTok at Yass Chef Pod.
Yep.
And we also have an email. So say you're a brand randomly listening to this podcast and you want to do a sponsorship with us, email us at yasschefpod@gmail.com.
Email us.
Thank you. We're business girlies. We are business girlies. So, thank you everyone for listening, and we'll see you next week. Bye.